Good morning. I am Jasukaran Samuel. I am the Assistant Professor from E&A Department from PSN College of Engineering and Technology. So now I am going to present to you a lecture on measurement of voltage and current. So where is the measurement of voltage and current needed? So it is needed in electrical measurements. So there are electrical field, there are electronics field. There are some differences between both the fields. Now we are going to see how voltage and current are measured in electrical field. So the meters used for measurement of voltage and current are ammeters and voltmeters. So ammeter, as we know, ammeter measures the current, voltmeter measures the electrical voltage. So these are the types of ammeters and voltmeters. If you see, there are 5 types. The first type is moving coil type meters. It is again divided into AC and DC. Then there are 2 subsections in moving coil type meters. So what are they? They are permanent magnet moving coil type and electrodynamic or dynamometer type. The second one is moving iron type meters. There are also AC and DC type. And it is also subdivided into attraction type and repulsion type meters. Then induction type. So induction type is also divided into AC and DC type. Then there are also 2 subdivisions, split phase and shaded pole type. The fourth one is thermal type meters. One of the example is hardware type, AC and DC type instruments. Finally, rectifier type meters. So in this lecture, we are going to see the main type, the first type. It is the permanent magnet moving coil type meters. So permanent magnet moving coil type instrument. So what is a moving coil type instrument? So there are 2 types of moving coil type instruments, namely permanent magnet moving coil type, and which can be used for direct current and voltage measurements. The second one is the dynamometer type, which can be used either on direct or alternating current or voltage measurement. The topic which we are going to focus today is permanent magnet moving coil type instruments. So before going into the topic, we should know the basic, what is a voltage and what is a current. So what is a current? So current is the rate at which the electric charge flows past a point in a circuit. You should know the symbol for current. It is I and its unit is ampere, amps or A. Okay. Voltage. So what is voltage? It is the electrical force that would drive an electric current between 2 points. Its symbol is V and its unit is volts or voltage. So this is the construction of a permanent magnet. This is permanent magnet moving coil type meter. So it consists of 2 permanent magnets, north pole and south pole. So since it contains a permanent magnet, it is called permanent magnet moving coil type meter. So you can see this is the south pole and this is the north pole of a permanent magnet. Then moving coil can be divided into 2, permanent magnet and moving coil. So where is the moving coil? Here is the moving coil. So this is the moving coil. I am indicating as MC. So since it contains a permanent magnet setup and a moving coil setup, it is called as permanent magnet moving coil type meter. The moving coil is placed in the field of a permanent magnet, so it is named as permanent magnet moving coil type meter. So we can come back to the slide again. Yeah, before that, we should know what is the principle of operation of permanent magnet moving coil type meters. it says that when a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it experiences a force which tends to move in the direction as per Fleming's left-hand rule. So we should know what is Fleming's left-hand rule. So we all know what is the Fleming's left-hand rule. If the first finger, the second finger and the thumb of the left hand are held at right angles, so that the thumb indicates the direction of motion of the conductor, the first finger indicates the direction of magnetic field, and the second finger indicates the direction of current in the wire. You can see it by using the diagram also. It indicates the thrust of motion, the field and the current. The thumb indicates the motion, the first finger indicates the direction of magnetic field, and the second finger indicates the direction of electric current. So what is the construction part? We can see what are all the construction features of a permanent magnet moving coil instrument. So it consists of a coil of thin wire. It is mounted on an aluminum frame which is positioned between poles of a U-shaped permanent magnet. The permanent magnet is made up of magnetic alloys like alnico. Alnico is a alloy containing aluminum, nickel and cobalt. So then the coil is pivoted on the jewel bearing so that the coil is free to rotate. So the current is given to the coil through spiral springs. There are two spiral springs which are 2 in numbers. The coil which carries the current, which is to be measured, moves in a strong magnetic field produced by the permanent magnet. The pointer is attached to the spindle which shows the measured value. Now we can see the slide. Okay, this is the permanent magnet moving coil instruments internal structure. So you can see this is the core of the this is the core, this is the coil. Okay, the coil is wound on an aluminum former, and the center of the core is provided a spindle. Okay, you can see this diagram also. So this is a one-dimensional representation of a permanent magnet moving coil type instrument. So this will be very clear. Okay, there are two permanent magnets and there is a moving coil inside the magnetic field. The coil is placed on a aluminum former. So former is nothing but a material which holds the moving coil. Then there is the iron core which is inside the moving coil. Then there is the spindle. So this is this is also called as spindle. Okay, this is the spindle. The spindle is connected on a pivot and jewel bearing. So the reason why they are connected in the pivot and jewel bearing is because to make it easily rotate freely. Okay, then there is a spring above it. The spring is made up of phosphor bronze. Okay, it is made up of phosphor bronze material. So the spring also provides a suspension, and also it acts as a current carrying element. It carries the current to the moving coil. Then on the spindle there is also connected a pointer. The pointer is provided with a balancing weight. So here the end of the arm is connected with the pointer. This is the arm. Then the pointer moves on a scale and a mirror arrangement. You can see the permanent magnet poles. Here it is the north pole and here it is the south pole. So this is the front view of the permanent magnet moving coil type instrument. If you see the top view, it will look like this. So the top view, it contains the permanent magnet moving coil instrument. So the permanent magnet is placed, this is the permanent magnets, then moving coil is placed inside the magnetic field. So this is the moving coil. Then the moving coil is provided with a spindle, is attached with a spindle. Then this is the balancing weight. The need for balancing weight is that to balance the pointer so it does not freely oscillate. So to maintain a weight balance, a balancing weight is used. Then the pointer moves on a uniform scale. Okay. Now the main thing is the working one. So the working of a permanent magnet moving coil instrument. So as we have seen in the principle of operation, when a current flows through the coil, it generates a magnetic field which is proportional to the current in case of ammeter. So first let us take an example as ammeter. So ammeter is used for measurement of current. So the source of supply is current. So current, the parameter we are going to measure is current. So we are giving the current through the coil. So since it is a moving coil, it generates a magnetic field which is proportional to the current. So the torque, a deflecting torque is produced by the electromagnetic action of current in the coil and the magnetic field. So because of the electromagnetic action of the current in the coil and the magnetic field, a deflecting torque is produced. So deflecting torque causes the coil to move inside the magnetic field, and also the pointer which is attached to the spindle which is in turn attached to the moving coil. So everything moves together. So next one is controlling torque. The first one is deflecting torque. So there are three main torques involved. First one is deflecting torque. Second one is controlling torque. So deflecting torque is the torque which causes the coil to rotate inside the magnetic field. So torque means rotational force. Next, so the coil moves inside the magnetic field, but it should stop at a position. We should control the torque. So the controlling torque is provided by two phosphorus bronze flat coil helical springs. So as I have said, there are two springs, one at the top and another one at the bottom. So these springs serve as a flexible connection to the coil conductors. So I have already said it serves two purposes. First purpose is it serves as a controlling medium. Second one, it serves as a flexible connection to the coil conductors so that it carries the current. So first one is to provide the controlling torque. Second one is to act as a connection to the coil conductors. So it serves two purposes. Next one is damping. So finally damping. So damping is caused by the eddy current set up in the aluminum coil which prevents the oscillation of the coil. As we have seen in the constructional part, the coil is wound on an aluminum material. So aluminum material there produces that eddy current is produced. So eddy current causes the direction of current in the opposite direction, which in turn damps the motion of the conductor. So eddy current direction and the direction of the current, the current source are in opposite direction to each other. So since they are in opposite direction, there is a opposition torque, so which causes the damping of the motion of the conductor. So now the oscillation of the coil can be prevented by using a eddy current setup. This is provided by the aluminum former. Okay, now up till this we have seen the construction of a moving coil instrument and the working of the moving coil instrument. So we have understood it we have understood it by using the pictorial representation, by using the diagram, by using the principle of operation. Now we need to understand the torque equation so that we can prove the deflection of the pointer is proportional to the current through the coil. So the torque equation, you can see the first one is the equation for deflecting torque. So we need to derive the deflection torque equation. The deflecting torque Td is equal to NBA into I. Now we are seeing the deflecting torque equation. Deflecting torque equation is NBA into I, where N stands for number of turns of the coil, B stands for flux density in the air gap in Weber per meter square, A stands for effective coil area in meter square, and I stands for current passing through the moving coil in ampere. In these four parameters, we can take N and B and A as constants. Okay, N and B and A are constants, so we can round them off as G. It is the galvanometer constant. So finally, we are getting Td is equal to G into I. Thus, we have derived the equation for deflecting torque. Next one, we need to derive the equation for controlling torque. So the controlling torque equation, it says Tc is proportional to the angle of deflection theta. In the first one, Td is proportional to the current produced because deflecting torque is produced only by the current source. So it is proportional to the input current, which is I. Input current of the moving coil, which is I. So Td is equal to G into I. It is proportional. Td is proportional to I. But the controlling torque is proportional to the deflecting angle or deflection of the pointer, which is the angular deflection theta. So why? Because how much the moving coil is deflected inside the magnetic field, in proportional to that we need to create a controlling torque. A controlling torque is created. So Tc, controlling torque, is proportional to theta. Now we can remove the proportionality and we can put a proportionality constant, which is Ks. So now we are getting Ks theta. So controlling torque in Newton per meter. Tc is the controlling torque. Kc is the spring constant in Newton meter per radian or Newton meter per degree. And theta is the angular deflection in radian or degree. Now coming to the main part, final steady state deflection part. So final steady state deflection. So what is final steady state deflection? The moving coil will come to rest at a point where deflecting torque and the controlling torque are equal. So when it will become equal, when it becomes equal, Tc is equal to Td. So Ks theta is equal to G into I. So we are getting theta is equal to G by Ks into I, or I is equal to Ks by G into theta. So from these two equations we can infer that theta is proportional to I. From these two equations we can infer that theta is proportional to I. So angle of deflection is proportional to the current through the moving coil. So current through the moving coil is the quantity to be measured. Okay, it is the quantity to be measured. Next, as the direction of the current through the coil changes, the direction of the deflection of the pointer also changes. So since it's a DC instrument, it cannot be used for AC instrument, as the deflecting torque also changes in the opposite direction. So it is mostly suited for DC instruments. Okay, we are coming to the application part. A PMMC instrument has variety of applications. First one is it is used as an ammeter. As we all know, to use an PMMC as an instrument, we need to connect a low resistance shunt material together with it. So when PMMC is used as an ammeter, except for a very small range, the moving coil is connected across a suitable low resistance shunt, so that only small part of the main current flows through the coil. Okay, what is the shunt material? It consists of number of thin plates made up of alloy metal, which is usually magnetic and has a low temperature coefficient of resistance, which is fixed between two passive blocks of copper. Also, a resistor of same alloy can also be placed in series with the coil to reduce the errors due to temperature variations. So, this is how ammeter is used by using permanent magnet moving coil type meters. Then, so this is a ammeter. Okay. So it indicates the readings in ampere. So this part shows the internal parts of the permanent magnet moving coil type instruments. So this is the pointer, which is pointer and scale, which are visible outside the instrument. Every other parts, the spindle, moving coil, then the permanent magnet, everything are placed inside this meter. So this is how the permanent magnet moving coil is used as an ammeter. Next, as we all know, to use a permanent magnetic moving coil instrument as an voltmeter, we need to connect the coil, a high resistance coil, in series with the permanent magnet coil. So, but the rest of the function is the same as a permanent magnet moving coil type ammeter. So, yes, the same moving coil can be used as an ammeter or voltmeter only by just an interchange of the above arrangement. Thus, a shunt resistance, a low resistance shunt is used in ammeter, and a high resistance series resistance is used in voltmeter. Every other operation is same. Okay. The diagram shows the voltmeter indicates the voltage in volts or V. Finally, we need to see what are all the advantages and what are all the disadvantages. It has many disadvantages. It has some disadvantages and it has many advantages also. Some of the advantages are it consumes less power and has great accuracy. It has uniformly divided scale and can cover up to 270 degrees. A permanent magnet moving coil instrument has a high torque to weight ratio, so the movement of the moving coil is easier in permanent magnet moving coil type instrument. And then the fourth point is, we have already seen, it can be modified as ammeter or voltmeter with suitable resistance connection, low resistance shunt or high resistance series connection. Next, it has efficient damping characteristics. So damping is needed to stop the motion of the coil. So it has efficient damping characteristics and it is not affected by stray magnetic field. So since it uses magnetic materials and coils, there's a chance that it gets affected by stray magnetic field. So this can be avoided in permanent magnet moving coil type instruments. And finally, hysteresis losses are avoided in permanent magnet moving coil type instruments. There are some disadvantages also. These disadvantages can be rectified by using further type of instruments. What are all the disadvantages? It can be used only on DC supply. Finally, by using the torque equation, we have seen the torque TD is proportional to the angle of deflection theta. Okay, so a reversal of current produces reversal of motion of the moving coil, so which causes the instrument to not to work. So it can be used only on DC measurement. So this is one of the disadvantages. Then it is very delicate and sometimes uses AC circuit with a rectifier. Then it is costly and as compared to moving coil iron type instruments. Then finally it may show error due to loss of magnetism of permanent